Wasteland Commander. Chapter 41. Strength. The survivors were working outside the Donghua restaurant. They are reinforcing the fence and enlarging the yard. In front of so many people, it was difficult for Yi Fan to build a red alert wall, but the base was too crude and it would definitely not be able to withstand the zombie attack, so he could only let the survivors work. He told the survivors that there was a base under construction nearby and that he would take them there when the base was completed. This made the survivors more enthusiastic about work. Among them, Yi Jiangwo also worked together, but Yi Fan refused to listen, so he had to let him go. However, the survivors did not dare to let Yi Jiangwo do too heavy a job. He just had someone to help him and watch over everything he did. After all, Yi Jiangwo's status was different now. His son was the leader here and was an officer. Thinking of this, the survivors' smiles towards Yi Jiangwo and his wife became kinder and brighter. While construction was in full swing outside, a huge military vehicle came to the door. The survivors were stunned for a moment, stopped what they were doing, and looked outside the door. This is the first time for everyone to see such a large jeep. The green color and the huge machine gun mounted on it seemed to indicate the identity of this vehicle. Yi Jiangwo came to the door and wanted to see who was coming in the car. The car door opened, and soldiers filed out one by one. 6 army soldiers got out of the car holding the Bai Ban, and 3 mobilization soldiers held the 56 gun. Seeing these people, the survivors couldn't help but burst into cheers. I don't know what Chief Ye's men are doing. Now that there are fewer soldiers in the restaurant, they are a little uneasy. In this world without soldiers around, it is always not so reassuring. Unexpectedly, 5 of them went out, and 9 more came in a blink of an eye. No, not 9, but 12. When 2 cooking squad soldiers with guns at their waists and a flamethrower soldier with a huge oil bottle on his back and a flamethrower in his hand came down, their mood became even more excited. Oh, and a huge military dog. I don't know where Chief Yi got this breed of dogs. They are surprisingly big and look extremely fierce. Yi Jiangwo looked at the 2 cooking squad soldiers and thought they might be officers. Because they are not holding the main weapon, shouldn't they look like officers? Could it be that his son's superior is here? In Yi Jiangwo's mind, his son may be a small squad leader, a small platoon leader, etc. There are definitely a lot of superior officers, and he must be under his jurisdiction. He did not dare to be negligent, so he immediately went up to meet him and said to a soldier from the cooking squad, "Comrade, are you?" The soldiers from the cooking squad stood at attention and saluted Yi Jiangwo. "We are here to report to Commander Yi Fan." Yi Jiangwo was stunned for a moment. He had never been saluted before, and he was a little panicked. He asked excitedly and nervously, "Comrade, are you also under my son's charge?" "Yes." "Then, how big an official is my son?" Some of the soldiers in the cooking squad couldn't answer. According to the permissions granted to them by the system, Yi Fan's information cannot be leaked. But when faced with questions, there is always an answer. The soldier from the cooking squad hesitated. "Sir, Yi Fan is very big." After finishing speaking, they left Yi Jiangwo's side, and the 12 soldiers walked into the room in unison, climbed to the 2nd floor, and reported to Yi Fan. The survivors around him looked at Yi Jiangwo with eager eyes. A particularly big officer. There is hope now. Looking at the 12 warriors and a dog in front of him, Yi Fan was very satisfied. Red police soldiers are always full of energy and high in fighting spirit. When these soldiers are put into the real army, they are also elite. Of course, you still need to upgrade the star. Without the star upgrade, the combat effectiveness will still be slightly lower. He already knew the situation of the army soldiers and conscripts. They were the main combat force and there was no need to ask any questions. He was asking about the cooking squad warriors and the flamethrower warriors. 2 soldiers from the cooking squad, one of whom looked honest, also looked like an officer. "Sir, Chief Cook Wang Jian is here to report, and Cook Zhang Changming is here to report." Hearing that the honest young man called himself the chief cook, Yi Fan was stunned for a moment. "Why aren't you 2 different?" "Yes, sir, I am the first-born member of the cooking class, that is, the default chief cook. Compared to ordinary cooks, I am proficient in more cuisines and my cooking skills are relatively better." "Really? That's very good. What kind of dishes are you good at?" "Proficient in 3 of the 8 major cuisines, dabbling in 2, and can also make simple Western food." "What about the ordinary cook?" "Ordinary cooks can currently cook large pot dishes without any problem, as well as simple stir-fry dishes. They are equivalent to chefs in ordinary small restaurants." "Okay, then you 2 will be responsible for the entire company's meals now. Make them according to the physical fitness, exercise level, etc. of our red police soldiers. Separate them from the meals of ordinary survivors to ensure that everyone is well fed and has the strength to fight. Sir, please rest assured, this is our mission and task, and we guarantee to complete the task. Yi Fan nodded with satisfaction and looked at the flamethrower warrior again. The flamethrower warrior stood at attention and saluted. Sir, the flamethrower warrior Wang Iyu is here to report. Well, tell me about your situation. Yes, I am currently equipped with a main weapon flamethrower and a secondary weapon 54 pistol. The flamethrower is a domestically produced Type 74 flamethrower. There are 3 oil storage tanks. Each oil storage tank can be fired once or 3 times according to battlefield needs. Weighs 20 kilograms, has a total length of 850 millimeters, a caliber of 14.5 millimeters, and a maximum range of 40 to 45 meters. It can cause huge damage to cluster infantry or zombie units. The internal fuel is special oil and cannot be extracted for use as a car. Looking at the oil storage tanks and flame guns behind the soldiers, Yi Fan knew that once this powerful unit entered the battlefield, it would represent a kind of destruction. As for drawing oil from the flamethrower, Yi Fan hasn't thought about it yet. First of all, this little oil is not enough to do anything. In addition, even if there is no more oil, he must ensure his own firepower. Can you all rise to the stars? Sir, if you can, both the cooking squad members and the flamethrower warriors can be upgraded to stars. The cost will be increased 3 times according to their cost. After being upgraded, their abilities will be improved. Very good, everyone is on your way now. I'll go take a look at my car first. Yi Fan led the soldiers downstairs again. Under the awed and flattering eyes of the survivors, he strode to the Xiaolong car outside the door. Compared with the warrior, Xiaolong is a bit bigger, especially much longer. The warriors only have 11 members, but the Xiaolong has 15 members. Especially the machine gun on the car, Yi Fan was even more excited to see it. The traffic jam here in Qingguan town is not serious, but he suffers from not having his own vehicle, which makes it very inconvenient for him to take the next step. This car can be said to have come at just the right time. Wang Hu, Li Biao, you two come here and serve as the driver and machine gunner. Wang Hu and Li Biao immediately ran over and took the initiative to get into the driving and co-pilot positions. Yi Fan also got into the car and experienced it for a while. The spacious space and the comfort of the seats have also been improved. 10 soldiers can sit on the vertical seats in the back. But he didn't immediately drive out to hunt zombies or rescue his sister. It was getting late now and we would wait until today. Back on the second floor, the food for the soldiers was separated from the survivors at night. Although they were separated, the survivors were eating better than before and they had no complaints. Yi Fan was lying there, still counting the time until Su Haoren and the others would come back. If there are no accidents, they should return here before 10 o'clock in the evening. Before going to Lingshui, Yi Fan planned to gather his troops and make a solid arrangement, but he would wait until Su Haoren and the others came back first. What Yi Fan didn't know was that Su Haoren and the others were experiencing a battle. In the villa area of Shangshi Jiangshan, Su Haoren and the mobilization soldiers were protecting the Su sisters and Gao Dongliang from retreating. More than 30 people were chasing them on the streets in the villa area. There was loud gunfire and the battle was extremely fierce. 2 conscripts took the Su sisters and hid in a corner of a villa. Su Haoren rolled out and fired a single burst from his submachine gun in his hand. 4 pursuers were headshot on the spot. He rolled over and ran back. A string of bullets shot out sparks behind him, but none of them hit him. Those who were chasing took the opportunity to rush forward, and 4 3-star mobilization soldiers jumped out, crawled and shot to kill. Dead. Several more people fell down. Su Haoren picked up the telescope and saw that there were still people in the distance trying to outflank him. He looked at the few people being protected around him and directly ordered, "Evacuate." The safety of the people assigned by the commander-in-chief must be ensured. 4 3-star soldiers and 2 1-star soldiers who were protecting the Su sisters and advanced in the battle began to retreat quickly. Su Haoren took out a grenade and threw a grenade over. The fire shot into the sky and the enemy no longer dared to pursue. Taking this opportunity, they left the villa area, walked to the park in the middle of the street, and headed towards the amusement park. The Su sisters blamed themselves. If it weren't for saving us, the vehicles and supplies would not have been left behind. Jiao Dongliang was also ashamed. Having seen the fighting power of these soldiers, he felt that he was a laggard. Su Haoren looked sternly. It doesn't matter. When the commander-in-chief comes, it will be easy to take back the things or eliminate the people in Dakingshan prison. Commander-in-chief? Yi Fan? Gao Dongliang asked. Good. Gao Dongliang didn't believe it. He would have believed it if he had served more soldiers, but he thought he still understood Yi Fan. Although Yi Fan was very powerful, he was not so powerful, right? The sisters of the Su family were also slightly skeptical. Is Brother Yi that strong? Su Haoren glanced at them. The commander-in-chief is known as the cold-faced killer, and he told me personally that he can shoot down planes. How strong do you think he will be? The remaining mobilization soldiers who were retreating also showed expressions of faith and admiration. The Su sisters were shocked, with longing on their faces. Jiao Dongliang looked at these soldiers with outstanding combat effectiveness, rubbed his eyes, and began to wonder whether a person's combat effectiveness was inversely proportional to his IQ. He didn't know that his expression was deeply despised in the eyes of several Red Alert soldiers. As far as this scumbag fat man's combat effectiveness and IQ are concerned, I'm afraid he can't even keep up with the commander-in-chief's fraction. Chapter 42, News from the Jewelry Store. Before midnight, Su Haoren and others finally returned to Qingguan town. Several people reported the situation to Yi Fan with shameful expressions. This time, as soon as they returned, they saw someone attacking the villa. They immediately joined the fight and ran out with 3 people. Although they did not suffer any loss in the battle, the warrior vehicle was probably robbed by someone, and the materials Yi Fan collected in the mining vehicle could not be saved. Although they rescued people, Su Haoren and others still felt ashamed of Yi Fan. Of course Yi Fan won't blame them. It doesn't matter if the supplies are gone, as long as everyone is safe. De Qingshan Prison Base, this is the first time Yi Fan has heard of this name. According to Su Haoren's description, those people were not weak in firepower and had a large number of people. They were able to enter Coal City and reach Shangshi Jiangshan community thanks to the bridge they opened. Unexpectedly, that road turned out to be a hidden danger. This was something Yi Fan had not thought of before. It has been almost 10 days since the end of the world, and he did not expect that there would be survivors on such a large scale. But there is no benefit in thinking about these now. Things have already happened, and everyone is still alive. Yi Fan remembered the name of this base. There will definitely be a chance to meet them in the future to avenge today's killing. 2 1-star conscripts and 1 3-star conscript were injured. He took out his company commander-level medicine and gave it to the medics, asking them to quickly treat several injured soldiers. After the Su sisters came here, Yi Fan asked them to take charge of the meals for himself and his parents, as well as Gao Dongliang, an old classmate and friend who was proficient in radio operations and would probably be useful soon. After experiencing this incident, Yi Fan felt that he should speed up his own construction. As he was developing, others were also developing. He initially had no intention of establishing a base and was already 1 step behind in this regard. Going to Lingshui to rescue his sister this time will undoubtedly take some time. How to get the maximum benefit in the shortest time is what Yi Fan needs to consider now. Now the number of red police units under Yi Fan has reached 37, including the Xiaolong off-road vehicle, there are already 38. He planned to leave 10 people to guard the restaurant, and the remaining people would follow him to Lingshui. 2 members of the cooking squad stayed, 3 army soldiers, 4 conscripts and a military dog stayed behind. Even if there are still people left, there are still 27 people, and 1 car cannot fit them. He ordered Su Haoren to go out and get 2 cars and come back, while he thought about the action plan. Lingshui No. 1 Middle School is located in the south-central part of the city, next to the Lingshui County Zoo. If you want to enter, you have to go to the zoo instead of the city. And Yi Fan has a headache, that is, if he attacks the school, he may not gain much material. Because the school has strict regulations, students are not allowed to wear jewelry. At best, we can find some scattered jewelry on some female teacher zombies, but I'm afraid there will be nothing left in this trip. It would be nice if I could get some funds during the attack. Yi Fan is too short of money. Whether it is building a base, exploding troops, or building a virtual tank factory, a large amount of money is needed. So it is best to open a jewelry store. However, jewelry stores are all located in the city center, so it is not easy to win. Although Lingshui is a county town with a population of 4 to 5 million, if you want to go to the center of the city, your own strength is still far behind. Furthermore, he is not familiar with the distribution of jewelry stores. After all, as a boy, he never pays attention to these things. Until the early morning of the next day, Yi Fan, with the mentality of treating a dead horse as a living horse doctor, called Lon Lily and the other girls to come up. These girls are all relatively young and pretty. Although they live in Qingguan town, they are still half Lingshui people. I believe they should know the distribution of jewelry stores. Hearing Yi Fan call them to come up, they were still wondering if the officer was attracted to them, so they came to Yi Fan one by one and pretended to be so. Yi Fan didn't look at their coquettishness and said directly, "Does any of you know where there are jewelry stores in the southern part of Lingshui?" Needless to say, those places with dense traffic should be as remote as possible. The more remote the better. Several women looked at each other, and one of them said in a cooing voice, "Brother Yi, I know the jewelry stores, but they are all in shopping malls and main streets. Who would open jewelry stores in remote places? That's not the case. Are you waiting to lose money? Yeah, no jewelry store is opened in a remote place. If you want to find a jewelry store, you have to go to the city. I know a very big one. Yi Fan waved his hand. Since you don't know, forget it, you can go back. Several women were a little reluctant. Seeing that an opportunity to perform with the new leader was lost, they didn't know when they would have such an opportunity in the future. At this time, Lon Lily stopped and seemed to recall something. Yi Fan, jewelry stores are indeed not in remote places, but I have a friend who runs a jewelry store because her husband lost a lot of money overseas and she was looking for him. He went after the debt and seemed to want to kill him. They had no choice but to use the jewelry in the store to pay off the debt. On the morning when the apocalypse broke out, that friend also called me and said that he was going to sell a lot of jewelry in stock in the jewelry store. They have all been moved to my home and are waiting for people to come and pick them up. The mutation started not long after we spoke on the phone. If my estimate is correct, those jewelry should still be at his home. Hearing the news, Yi Fan's eyes suddenly lit up. Where is his home? It would be useless if he was in the center of the city. He couldn't reach the center yet. Lon Lily immediately said, his home is in the Zijing Garden community, 1 street away from Lingshui No. 1 Middle School. It is considered a school district house. I originally thought that the property would appreciate in value, so I did not buy it in the center of the city. Yi Fan immediately remembered this community. It was definitely not the central city, but it was near Lingshui No. 1 Middle School, because Yi Fan was also a student of Lingshui No. 1 Middle School. If it were this community, things would be much easier to handle. Entering this community is definitely not too difficult. Do you remember the address of your friend's house? 8 buildings with 1 unit, room 601. Okay, you can go back, From now on, you can have an extra 2 tails of meat in your daily meals. When Lon Lily heard this, she was immediately grateful. Now she has the same food as ordinary survivors. Although she can eat it, it is much worse than before. 2 tails of meat more per day is definitely a big number. Several other girls glanced at Lon Lily jealously and left helplessly. After getting the information, Yi Fan was in a good mood. After waiting for a while, Su Haoren came back. He brought back 2 SUVs, a Lexus and a Wrangler, both of which were considered to have good performance. Although it cannot be compared with Xiaolong, it can still be used for the time being. With 2 more vehicles, all combatants can get on board. Yi Fan immediately gathered his troops and prepared to set off for Lingshui. Wang Hu and Li Biao served as his driver and machine gunner. He, Su Haoren, engineer Huang Jia, sniper Chen Chuan, flamethrower warrior Wang Aiyu and others all boarded the Xiaolong. The military dogs and medical soldiers also boarded the Xiaolong, and other soldiers also boarded the vehicles respectively, and soon the 3 vehicles were full. We will set off immediately and go to Lingshui No. 1 Middle School, which is located in the south-central part of the city. It has to be a long walk. Everyone, move steadily and follow the command. Do you understand? Clear. Set off. The dragon car accelerated and left Donghua restaurant. The 2 cars behind also followed. They did not take the main road, but took the small road directly, avoiding the areas with dense zombies, and went straight to the direction of Lingshui. Occasionally, zombies discovered them and chased them with roars, but they couldn't keep up with the speed of the convoy. After throwing away the zombie horde, the car finally drove out of Qingguan town. There is a highway ahead, leading directly to Lingshui County, but the traffic jam on the highway is still relatively serious. It would be no problem if there was a mining truck, but now it is not possible. Yi Fan simply gave the order to leave the road and drive in the fields. The Xiaolong roared down the road, and with its off-road performance comparable to that of a tank, it forcibly carved a path in the fields. The 2 cars behind followed the Xiaolong's track and were able to pass smoothly. The journey was less than 30 kilometers and took about an hour. There has already been a city ahead, that is Lingshui. Entering the edge of the city, zombies can already be seen wandering around. The highway is blocked and it is difficult for cars to pass. Everyone get out of the car and prepare to fight. Looking at the time, it was almost noon. Yi Fan immediately ordered everyone to get out of the car. Standing on the edge of Lingshui County, there are 2 roads in front of Yi Fan. One is to go through the main street from the city, and the other is to go through the zoo. As long as you pass through the zoo, there is Lingshui No. 1 Middle School. Chapter 43, 3-star military dog Shatian. At the edge of Lingshui, part of the zoo was already within the radar range. Yi Fan opened the red alert page and checked the radar. Under the radar screen, a radius of 10 kilometers can be seen at a glance. Lingshui No. 1 Middle School cannot be seen within this range, but the streets leading to Lingshui No. 1 Middle School and part of the zoo can already be seen. During the Qin and Han dynasties, Due to the large population and vast land and resources, even a county was very large. So zoos, which are generally only found in urban areas, are also located in Lingshui. Lingshui is called Lingshui because of its beautiful mountains and clear waters. Two large rivers, Qixing River and Lingshui River, pass through it, making it rich in forest resources and a wide variety of wild animals. Lingshui Zoo is comparable to a municipal zoo in a coal city, with countless animals inside. One of the northern specialty beasts is even more famous, that is the western tiger. This kind of tiger is the largest cat in the entire blue starfish. There is even a special area for western tigers in Lingshui, which occupies a large area. Yi Fan has been to Lingshui Zoo many times when he was a child, and he knows the place fairly well. At the edge of the city, he checked through the radar. It can be said that the two roads have their own advantages and disadvantages. If you take the streets to get to number 1 middle school, there are too many dangers along the way, and the number of zombies is terrifyingly dense. At a glance, there are at least 500,000 zombies entrenched in this urban area. If you want to move forward bit by bit, it will conservatively estimate that it will take a week. Moreover, he must have money in his hands to support war with war. Of course, Yi Fan couldn't wait that long, so taking the zoo into the city was a shortcut. It's just that the zoo is not an easy place to walk, because the apocalypse broke out at noon, and there were quite a lot of tourists in the zoo. Zombies are not the main thing yet. After all, there are far fewer zombies here compared to the city. The most important thing are mutant beasts. Judging from the radar screen, the zoo is dotted with hundreds of purple light spots. The purple light spots represent mutant beasts, which are more difficult to deal with than zombies. Yi Fan has only seen one mutated dog so far, which is almost as strong as Xiao Tian, and there are too many beasts in the zoo that are stronger than dogs. If he were not eager to know the situation of his sister, Yi Fan would rather advance steadily from the streets, fight steadily, and feed the war with war. But when he thought about his sister's life and death, he felt that he could not walk on the street. Although there are many mutant beasts in the zoo, it is still much faster if you are careful. Let's go through the zoo. More than 20 red police soldiers under his command immediately followed Yi Fan and walked into the wilderness. There were almost no zombies here. Occasionally there were 1 or 2 farmer zombies working in the fields. The soldiers easily eliminated them with bayonets. After walking for a while, you will see the zoo wall in front of you. The fence here is no longer a brick structure, but a circle of trees with a tall double-layer barbed wire fence inside. Not only animals can't get through, but people can't get through either. Yi Fan took a look inside through the gap in the trees. Inside was a free-range area for wild animals. There are a group of herbivores such as wildebeest, zebra, and antelope living here. But now we can no longer see ordinary animals. This apocalyptic crisis has caused some animals to mutate, but those that have not mutated have basically become food for mutated beasts or zombies. Yi Fan could even see a lot of animal bones and bloodstains like splashes of ink. Su Haoren, can you open this barbed wire fence? Yes, sir. Su Haoren came over, took out his multifunctional dagger, and tried to cut the barbed wire. At this time, engineer Huang Jia came over, took out his toolbox, and took out a pair of huge metal pliers. Clicking against the barbed wire fence a few times, a hole was cut. Yi Fan was in the back and saw the engineer's toolbox for the first time. He found that this guy's toolbox was really too big. There were countless tools of all kinds in it, and he didn't know what most of them were used for. It seemed that this box also had its own function of storing luggage and could hold a lot of things in it. Sir, please drill. Huang Jia waved his hand respectfully to Yi Fan and pointed to the hole in the barbed wire fence. Yi Fan glared at him, thinking that the loyalty of the red police soldiers was unparalleled, but sometimes they still lacked a little human sophistication. Don't they know how to make this hole bigger? Huang Jia seemed to know what Yi Fan was thinking. Sir, if the hole is too big, the mutant beast will easily escape. Yi Fan had nothing to say. It was worth holding his nose and crawling through this dog hole-like place. The red alert soldiers followed in quickly, and now they were in the zoo. As soon as they entered, Xiao Tian and another military dog pricked up their ears and looked ahead. Yi Fan looked over there and knew that they had encountered the first mutant beast in the zoo. A zebra the size of a camel appeared in his sight. With scarlet eyes, he was chewing a bone in his mouth, and blood was still pouring out. This thing, after mutating, actually eats meat. It doesn't look like it's very easy to deal with. They saw the zebra, and the zebra also saw them, stood there stunned for a moment, and then neighed. He spread his hooves and rushed towards Yi Fan and others. Yi Fan was hesitating whether to shoot or not, when Xiao Tian and another military dog pounced on him. Although this zebra is big, the two military dogs Xiao Tian are not vegetarians either. Xiao Tian is already a 2-star military dog, as big as a male lion, and the other one is also a one-star dog, about the size of a female lion. Two military dogs pounced forward and entangled the zebra before it could get close to Yifan and others. Unlike ordinary dogs that fight and bark, these two military dogs hardly bark at all. They go up and bite the zebra's belly and buttocks. These are the soft parts of animals. This way of fighting reminds Yifan of some beasts on the prairie. The zebra was also extremely ferocious, with 4 iron hooves flying up and down, and from time to time it would bite 2 military dogs. However, the military dogs were very flexible, and the 2 dogs cooperated with each other. If it attacked one, the other would follow. Behind the mouth. Gradually, the zebra's body received more wounds. It seems that a mutated zebra cannot defeat 2 military dogs with stars. Seeing that the battle situation was stable, Yifan said to the soldiers around him, "You spread out, 4 people in a group, hunt zombies in the nearest area, remember, mainly female zombies, and those, special male zombies are those who have supplies on them." "Understood, sir." The red police soldiers all remembered Yifan's request for female zombies and some special male zombies. Army soldiers and conscripts formed 4 assault groups in groups of 4 and began to spread toward the surrounding areas. Yifan continued to watch the performance of Xiaotian's 2 dogs. After about 10 minutes, the scarred zebra finally couldn't hold on any longer. Xiaotian seized the opportunity, bit the zebra's body with a chokehold, and dragged it to the ground forcefully. Another military dog was also biting wildly, and the zebra's struggle became weaker and weaker. When the zebra stopped struggling, Yifan discovered that Xiaotian had grown a little bigger. If Xiaotian was the size of a male lion before, now Xiaotian is comparable to an adult male western tiger. The whole body is muscular, with smooth lines, the fur is dark and shiny, and the mouth is wide open, as if it can bite a person in half. This is, I have been promoted to a 3-star military dog. The 3-star military dog is an excellent red alert unit. As long as you seize the opportunity in the game, it can kill any infantry unit in one bite. Looking at Xiaotian's appearance now, it's almost as if he could kill a person with one bite. "Nana, what are the abilities of 3-star military dogs?" "Sir, 3-star military dogs are stronger, have stronger combat effectiveness, will not be infected, and can sense evil thoughts and hostility in people's hearts. They are the best unit to identify spies. A 3-star military dog can sense the presence of enemies within a diameter of 200 meters. There are hostile life forms in our unit, and we recommend that the commander carry at least one with him in the future. Good guy, this is a divine dog. You are worthy of the name I gave you." Yifan is in a good mood. It seems that the number of dogs during this trip to the zoo is still a bit small. After killing the mutated zebra, Xiaotian dragged the huge zebra body and actually dragged it in front of Yifan. Then he looked at Yifan with his big eyes, as if he wanted to invite Yifan to dinner. Yifan looked at the zebra that was bitten to death and was speechless. However, he still didn't want to live up to Xiaotian's good intentions, so he silently said to the dog head and the zebra's corpse, "Be good, I won't eat it, but I'll give it to you." Just when his hand touched the zebra, Nana's prompt sounded, "Sir, we found that high-energy meat is very beneficial to the human body." "Oh." Yifan became interested immediately. "What are the benefits?" "Relieves fatigue, restores energy, promotes wound healing, stimulates body potential, makes people stronger and less prone to illness. According to biological science, which part is eaten will have better supplementation effect on which part." Yifan immediately called Huang Jia without saying a word. "Come here, use your tools to dismember this zebra, and put 5 legs together for me." "Sir, I want to run faster." Chapter 44, Director's Office. A mutated zebra brought nearly 500 kilograms of mutated animal meat to Yifan. After collecting these mutated animal meats, Yifan sensitively realized that this was really good stuff. According to Nana, this is almost a tonic food with no side effects, which can stimulate the potential to strengthen the body. In the future, this thing may become a strategic material. It seems that during the process of going to number 1 middle school to rescue his sister, collecting mutated animal meat is also an essential thing. But Yifan's pride did not last long. After hunting another wildebeest in the herbivore range area, we came to the primate area. There are many kinds of monkeys here, as well as orangutans, baboons, mandrills, silverback gorillas, etc. There were a lot of purple lights here, and Yifan was quite cautious, but he encountered a fatal crisis. At Monkey Mountain, there are as many as 7 or 8 mutated monkeys. Monkeys are originally social animals, but after mutation, they became very bloodthirsty. The numerous skeletons of people and animals around them are obviously their masterpieces. When Yifan and his people arrived, the monkeys that had been squatting in a shady corner suddenly sprang out, each one as big as a gorilla, and launched an attack on Yifan's team. Although Xiaotian and another military dog tried their best to resist, the difference in numbers was too big, and 4 or 5 monkeys still rushed towards the army. These guys moved too fast, 2 soldiers were injured immediately, and even a starless conscript died on the spot. Seeing the monkeys' sharp claws scratching the throat of the conscripts, Yi Fan's heart tightened. This is the first Red Alert unit to die in action since he obtained the Red Alert system. Faced with zombies and survivors, these Red Alert soldiers have shown strong combat effectiveness. However, facing these sensitive and ferocious mutant beasts, sometimes the soldiers are really not that useful, especially in the starless state. Yi Fan didn't care about attracting other mutant beasts and zombies, and immediately ordered to open fire. But firearms don't seem to have much effect on this extremely sensitive monkey. As soon as these monkeys saw the guns raised, they immediately jumped up and down like lightning. It was too difficult to hit them smoothly. They climb up the treetops, jump from the air, grab onto the vines, and fly by like lightning. Even if your eyes are slower, you may not be able to keep up with them. Each mutated monkey is faster than the agile mutated zombies. Only the sniper killed one and Suhauren wounded one. The other monkeys were still squeaking and ready to attack. Moreover, the monkeys' cries and gunshots have attracted other mutant beasts. Yi Fan saw a purple light spot coming from other directions on the radar map, as well as a large group of red light spots, which were zombies wandering nearby. No, in this open area, if you are besieged by mutant beasts and zombies, your entire army will definitely be annihilated. You should find a safe place to hide. Yi Fan took a look at the map and saw a building nearby. There are purple light spots in other places, but there are only sporadic red light spots in that building, which should be where people live. Let's go over there, run with me. 2 medical soldiers carried a stretcher with a seriously injured conscript, and the other 2 who were slightly injured were supported by 2 3-star conscripts. The rest of the people provided cover fire and quickly moved towards the building. Yi Fan saw behind him a silverback gorilla that was more than 2 meters tall when running. This guy is simply a violent maniac. He can break trees with one punch. He angrily lifts the car blocking the road and chases the team while jumping. The soldier's bullets hit its body, splattering with blood, but they were all superficial wounds, but not fatal. It would only make it more violent. Seeing the gorilla chasing behind the team, when Yi Fan was feeling something bad, the flamethrower warrior Wang Aiyu stepped forward. Sniper Chen Chuan immediately covered Wang Aiyu and shot 3 consecutive shots at the same part of the gorilla's lower abdomen. Only his bullets could penetrate the gorilla's flesh, making the gorilla's lower abdomen drip with blood and move slower. Wang Aiyu took this opportunity to open fire. When the blazing fire from the flame gun appeared, there was a burst of painful roars and strange screams from behind. The area within 45 meters instantly became on earth. The chasing gorilla, 3 mutant monkeys, 2 baboons, and a mutant ostrich that ran out of nowhere were all enveloped in this ball of flames. The gorilla was furious and fled in another direction, which was the artificial lake in the zoo. Primates are more intelligent and know how to use water to extinguish fires, but only the gorillas escaped. The remaining monkeys and baboons were too small to be burned by the flames. They ran around for a while and then fell to the ground and became charred. Even a monkey climbed up a tree and set it on fire. The mutated ostrich used its inertia to rush out with a rumble, but crashed into a sand pit on the side of the road and never got up again. This flame gun attack consumed Wang Aiyu's fuel in an oil storage tank. Now the flame gun can be used twice, and then it will be refreshed. Although flame guns are very effective against mutant beasts, such a big movement attracts more mutant beasts and zombies. One of the large groups of mutated birds that were in the bird garden flew out, and it was as dark as a dark cloud approaching. A 1-star mobilization soldier behind him will be injured immediately and will turn into a zombie when attacked by mutant beasts. 3-star troops are in the rear, fire cover from 3-star soldiers and below. 3-star army soldier Luo Fei now became the main force, leading several 3-star mobilization troops to open fire intensively. As 3-star combat units, they will not be infected. These mutated birds are not particularly large. It will not be easy to kill the soldiers without infection. More than a dozen firearms formed a crossfire net, and bullets flew all over the sky, beating mutated birds in the sky, mutated rabbits that sprang out from the ground, and mutated beasts such as small raccoons to a pulp. But the number of soldiers is still a bit small. From time to time, mutant beasts break through the fire net, and the 3-star warriors in front have been injured. There was even a mutated leopard among them, with a body almost as big as Xiao Tian now, and it climbed over the trees. Su Haoren and Luo Fei opened fire at the same time. The mutant leopard hit by the dense bullets had to stop temporarily. Then Wang Aiyu sent out a burst of flame again, burning a piece of mutant birds flying over, which relieved the pressure on the soldiers. Fighting and retreating, they finally arrived in front of the building. Yi Fan quickly rushed into the building with his people. At this time, the zombies also arrived. Wang Liu once again fired the last flame at the zombie group coming from the left. This flame was enough. It was enough to swallow more than 40 zombies, giving Yi Fan and others a certain amount of time to retreat. After 3 consecutive flames, there were still wounded and medical soldiers and engineers who had not been evacuated. Yi Fan originally thought that he would suffer heavy losses, but he did not expect that after 3 flames erupted, Wang Liu was upgraded and became a 1-star flamethrower warrior. The maximum intensity of the flame eruption reached 4 times, and he used it 3 more times in succession, aiming the fire in 3 directions. With only 1 flame chance left, he finally evacuated the wounded into the building under cover. The outside is filled with scorched earth, and the smell of barbecue wafts in the air. Human beings have entered the building, and the mutated beasts and zombies pounced on the dead ones and began to devour them. The smell attracts more and more zombies and mutated beasts. These things usually don't attack each other, but come to look for food. Soon, thousands of zombies and mutant beasts of many sizes were gathered outside. This building has been besieged. Retreated to a safe corridor, the medics treated the wounded urgently, and the rest cleared away the scattered zombies in the building. The harvest along the way was not much. After all the zombies in the building were cleared, Yi Fan only had 300 gold in his hand. Yi Fan converted money and gave all the medicines in the medical box to the medical soldiers. 3 bottles of antiviral serum were also used. Looking outside at the sounds of eating and roaring downstairs, I sighed secretly. It was still a bit reckless and he shouldn't have come to Monkey Mountain. He underestimated the monkey's agility and ferocity. Not only did he kill a starless mobilization soldier, but he also caused many people to be injured and trapped here again. Those zombies are not too difficult to deal with. They can be wiped out in a few waves if they are attacked steadily, but the mutant beasts are definitely not easy to deal with. Yi Fan has not enough military dogs, not enough flamethrowers and snipers, and not enough ordinary soldiers. It's almost 12 o'clock now, and the ammunition will be refreshed soon, so it may not be easy to defeat these mutated beasts. Unless his current strength is greatly improved, it is possible to get out of this predicament, otherwise there will be a long tug-of-war. It's a pity that Yi Fan has no money to produce. He walked around the building for a while and saw an office at the end of the 4th floor. Director's office. I opened the door and walked in. There was no one in the room. It is estimated that the director of the zoo was not here when the incident happened. I thought it was a luxuriously decorated office, but now it looks quite simple. In addition to ordinary desks and chairs, there is only a large bookshelf, which contains books on various professional knowledge and some small ornaments. There are also some words hanging on the wall: tranquility and distance, don't forget carelessness. Yi Fan knew that Lingshui Zoo had been contracted out many years ago. The director was a boss from the south. Logically speaking, he should be richer, but it doesn't look like it now. Looking around unwillingly, his eyes fell on a row of ornaments. The ornaments of various animals, small in size, yellow and orange, are placed on a copper shelf that looks a little shabby. Are these little animals golden? They shouldn't be. This office is quite low-key, but Yi Fan was now extremely short of money, and he would not let go of any yellow or white metal he saw. He immediately came to the bookshelf to see what these things were made of. Chapter 45, Hiding Gold and Raising Soldiers. There are nearly 100 ornaments of these small animals. Birds and animals, fish swimming in the water, all things included. They are all yellow and orange, and they look very naive. Getting close to these things, Yi Fan couldn't help but feel excited. Although his reason told him that no matter how rich the director was, he would never put the gold ornaments here, because he would be causing trouble for himself. But Yi Fan, who was already troubled by the lack of money, still had high hopes for these things. What if it's true? What if the director has lost his mind? He picked up an elephant ornament and waited for Nana's notification tone. As long as Yi Fan gets precious metals, Nana will give a reminder that he can convert them into system money. But when Yi Fan picked up the elephant, the system did not give any prompt sound. It's over. Brass. Yi Fan threw the elephant ornament aside regretfully, but he still had hope. He picked up another shark. Still no beep. Is it possible that among the many ornaments, one of them is made of gold? Most of the others are used to cover up? Yi Fan took the trouble to pick up the ornaments one by one, hoping that one of them would surprise him. One disappointment after another, and in the end there was only one red-crowned crane ornament left. Picked it up, but the prompt tone still didn't sound. I knew that it was impossible for someone to put so many gold ornaments in the office. Someone who has money would have to consider safety issues. He regretfully put his hands on the tattered copper shelf. Dee. We found precious metals that can be converted into system money. Sir, would you like to convert them? Yi Fan was stunned for a moment. He could hardly believe his ears. This thing that clearly looks like brass at first glance, how could it be a precious metal? Hands up, the prompt sound disappears. Press it again, and the prompt sounds again. Then a burst of ecstasy came. He understands. This garden director is building a plank road in the open and secretly cheating on Shinsong. Those conspicuous ornaments are nothing more than a cover, and this is the real good thing. Even if someone stole his things, at most they would just steal the decorations. It is hard to think that the good thing is this shelf. Yi Fan didn't quite understand the psychology of this principle. He might still be secretly happy about his cleverness, and he might be using this method to satisfy some special thoughts in his heart. After all, no one will pay attention to these insignificant things. Even if they have the mentality to pay attention, they will definitely be attracted by those yellow and orange ornaments. Yi Fan knew a lot about gold, and he was blinded by this deception, let alone other people. This frame was definitely manipulated. But those are not important anymore, and Yi Fan doesn't care. Now is the end of the world, everything in the past has become history, and what he got is real. This copper shelf that looks a little rusty definitely contains a lot of gold. Those ornaments are not big, but this thing is definitely not small. Pick it up and weigh it. It weighs at least 10 kilograms. Transform. Yi Fan transformed it without hesitation. Congratulations, sir, for getting 8,500 gold. Yi Fan was almost knocked down by the great happiness. 8,500. This is the biggest single profit since he got the system, which proves that the pure gold content of this ornament reaches 8.5 kilograms. When we had this thing, we could immediately turn on the radar and upgrade the company commander immediately. Even now, as long as he saves a little more, he can build a chariot factory. Even if it is taken back to build a base, I am afraid that a circle of number 1 fence and a machine gun bunker will be built. But for now, Yi Fan is more inclined to increase his firepower. The situation outside is already very difficult to deal with, and the military strength is still limited. So he plans to use the money to make a big splash. Including the 300 gold he just received, he already has 8,800 gold in his hand. Just when Yi Fan was about to attack, Nana gave a hint. Sir, please determine the number of people for the company. Yi Fan thought for a while. There are 3 platoons in a company. I have a platoon of 32 people, so 3 platoons are 96 people. And the company also needs a cooking squad, plus 8 people. I think the quota for flamethrower warriors is 3, and the quota for rocket launcher warriors is also 3, so there are 6 more people. In this way, there are 110 people. Appoint 1 more company commander and 3 platoon commanders, and the number will be 114. The squad leader can be directly selected within the squad. If the company commander and platoon commander are equipped with a protection personnel, a few more engineers, or more advanced combat units enter the production sequence in the future, and there is still some space left, then a company will have a maximum strength of 130. It's a red alert unit, not including vehicles. Yi Fan's calculations were all based on Manchu calculations, and they were also calculated based on his own needs, which were somewhat different from the actual calculations in Qin and Han dynasties. The stipulation has been completed. Our company includes 130 red alert units, excluding vehicles. After the quorum was over, Yi Fan decided to start production. Judging from today's situation, he is severely lacking in all types of troops. First of all, the flamethrower warriors have made great achievements today. If you want to leave here, you must fill up this quota. Yi Fan directly spent 1,000 money to produce 2 flamethrower warriors again. The number of military dogs is also not enough. It is difficult for 2 dogs to cope with large scenes. There is still 1 dog left at Donghua restaurant. If we calculate 3 dogs in a row, there are still 6 dogs left. Yi Fan once again spent 1,800 to add 6 military dogs, and this quota was also filled. There is a little less sniper, but this one is more expensive, so it is better to produce another one, and it costs 800 to get a sniper. There are 2 medics in each platoon, and the total number should be 6. Yi Fan decided to add 2 more. The current 2 medics are obviously too busy. Thanks to them, he has avoided serious combat attrition. Currently, he only has 1 was killed instantly, but the rest survived. 400 gold, 2 medics are produced. These have cost 4,000 gold, and there are still 4,800 left. Yi Fan feels that there must be 1 bazooka warrior to deal with emergencies. Even though the price is 1,200, it still has to be produced. There are 3,600 more. This money can be used to increase ordinary combat units. Yi Fan decided to spend it all at once to directly create 12 army soldiers and 12 mobilization soldiers. Add a platoon's main combat unit at once. These were all started to be made, and Yi Fan took a look. 2 flamethrower warriors, 1 rocket launcher warrior, 2 medics, and 1 sniper. 12 army soldiers and 12 mobilization troops. 6 military dogs. A total of 36 red alert units. Yi Fan prefers this kind of violent attack method, which has a balanced firepower mix and stronger actual combat ability. Pure troops are not enough to face complex environments and situations. For example, with today's money, even if he sends out 88 mobilization troops, he will still be wiped out by the group when he gets outside. With this kind of firepower, he was quite confident about getting out of the zoo, even out to attack Lingshui No. 1 middle school. The door to the room opened, and soldiers began to file in one by one. There are more and more people in the small office. Soldiers with live ammunition and menacing military dogs fill the room with a solemn atmosphere. I don't know how long I have been waiting for, but the storm is completed. Yi Fan opened his eyes and looked at the dark room of soldiers standing in front of him, and at the military dogs squatting in a row. A surge of pride rose in his heart. Sniper Lin Qing reports to the commander. Flamethrower Lin Jikong reports to Sir. Flamethrowing warrior Li Hao reports to the commander. Bazooka warrior Su Mo reports to the commander. Medical female soldier Xiao Jing reports to the commander. Army soldier XXX reports to the commander. Mobilized troops XXX to report to the commander. Woof woof. Woof woof. There are a lot of supporting characters released today, including Wang Aiyu, Huang Jian, and Huang Jie who were released before. They are all supporting characters requested by book friends. High to hopes that comrades who have obtained supporting characters will come out and take a few steps in the book review area and brush their faces, otherwise they will get the extras won't show up, but they will receive lunchboxes. Chapter 46. Powerful Firepower Group. Looking at the group of soldiers in front of him, Yi Fan discovered that there was a female soldier among them. He is also in military uniform, with a dashing and heroic appearance, carrying a small medical kit on his body, and has beautiful features. Yi Fan was stunned for a moment. This was the first time he had produced female soldiers in the system. The problem is, he did not ask for the production of female soldiers. What's your name? Sir, medical female soldier Xiao Jing is reporting to you. Xiao Jing, why are there female soldiers? Sir, the red alert system is at your service. You want to produce female soldiers, so I show up. How is it possible? I would have such an idea? Haha. Nana must have made a mistake. Forget it, let's not argue with her now. Let's talk about it later. Yi Fan turned around, his face was slightly red, and he looked at the other soldiers with dignity. Another sniper named Lin Qing was produced, as well as 2 flamethrower warriors, Qin Jikong and Li Hao. Yi Fan already had a general understanding of their abilities. The only thing he didn't know about now was the rocket launcher warrior Su Mo. The bazooka warrior is currently the most expensive individual soldier type among Yi Fan's soldiers. The cost reaches 1,200, which is more expensive than the engineer. Looking at the huge rocket launcher carried behind him, Yi Fan greeted him. Su Mo, tell me about your situation. Su Mo is a burly warrior. After saluting, he replied loudly, Sir, I am equipped with a domestically produced PF-89 individual rocket launcher. This rocket launcher has the advantages of long range, high power, good accuracy, and light weight. The total length of the rocket launcher is 90 centimeters. The launch tube weighs 3.5 kilograms, has a caliber of 120 millimeters, and can launch 2 types of rockets, divided into Type A and Type B. Type A bullets are rocket armor-piercing bullets that can kill independent heavily armored units, such as armored zombies, large mutant beasts, infantry fighting vehicles, light and medium tanks, low-altitude helicopters, and can also be used to destroy walls and fortifications. Type B bullets are rocket cloud bombs are mainly designed to destroy enemy troops on a large scale, and have a good effect on large area cluster units. At present, in the starless state, I have 2 armor-piercing shells and 2 cloud blast shells every day. Every time I upgrade 1 star, 1 of each of the 2 shells will be added, and they will be refreshed 24 hours a day. Yi Fan looked at the long rocket launcher behind Su Mo and the backpack behind him. In addition to his basic equipment, the backpack also contained 4 rockets. This is simply a single cannon, and it is currently the strongest firepower in Yi Fan's army. Yi Fan wanted to see Su Mo's strength. Now there are less than 5 minutes before the 12 o'clock refresh. Yi Fan immediately directed everyone to the window. Listen, use all the bullet firepower you have within 5 minutes. Clear. The red police soldiers took up their positions, and even the medics took out their pistols and started shooting. The wounded got up and started shooting. In addition to military dogs, 30 combat units, plus the previous 20 or so, and more than 50 kinds of weapons poked out from the window. As Yi Fan ordered to fire, a net of death was immediately formed. Without reservation, the zombies and mutated beasts that were still eating below were fatally struck. The first to show off their power were the 3 flamethrower warriors. Flamethrower warriors target hovering birds and small mutant beasts on the ground. The upgrade of this unit is very fast. A flame of more than 40 meters is emitted, which can often clear a large area. Wang Aiyu, the first flamethrower warrior to appear after firing the last flame, was directly upgraded to 2 stars. When the 3 people fired together, there was a flaming in front of them, and almost nothing else could be seen except the fire. The aroma of barbecue wafted, and corpses were everywhere. Only the larger mutated beasts and mutated zombies can sustain it for a while, but they will also attract more mutated beasts and zombies. But Yi Fan is not afraid at all. He has full firepower at the moment, and it doesn't matter if he comes with more. Sniper Lin Qing also upgraded quickly in this situation. He cooperated with the first sniper Chen Chuan to specifically select those medium-sized mutant beasts for sniping. After knocking down several beasts in a row, both of them also rose to star level. 2-star sniper Chen Chuan has fired 30 rounds of bullets, and now he can almost be described as 100 hits. A mutated wolf just showed up, kill it with a headshot. A mutated peacock didn't wait for it to land, but a gunshot helped it land completely. The rest of the ordinary army soldiers and conscripts also used bullets to kill the wandering zombies. Some people are constantly raising stars during battles, and immediately jump into new battles after refilling their bullets. It's refreshed at 12 o'clock anyway, so it would be a waste not to light it. There were loud gunshots, smoke filled the air, and the mutated beasts and zombies on the ground fell down layer after layer. But the one who performed the most eye-catchingly was the bazooka warrior. His first rocket armor-piercing projectile was aimed at a successfully evolved armored zombie. There were not many mutated zombies in the zoo, but after enjoying a delicious meal downstairs, a few mutated. A newly evolved armored zombie let out a roar, seeming to show its power to the surrounding creatures, and then received a fatal blow. An armor-piercing bullet hit the body, shattering the armored zombie's body to pieces on the spot. There was no headshot, but there was only one head left. It is impossible to survive even if the body is completely exploded and only one head is left. Its strong cuticle cannot resist this high-tech killer weapon. Even a tank can be blasted away, let alone a flesh and blood body. After an armor-piercing round is fired, the second cloudburst round is immediately loaded. This time, Su Mo was targeting the carcass of a mutated cow. There were already a lot of zombies lying on it, including 7 or 8 quasi-mutated zombies, all of which began to evolve after enjoying a feast of mutated beasts. "Sir, tell everyone to get down." Yi Fan gave the order and everyone lay down collectively. A line of white smoke shot out from the rocket launcher, and the powerful recoil caused the rocket launcher to rise instantly. Then I felt the earth shake. A powerful airwave hit, and all the window glass of the building was shattered in an instant. Thanks to everyone's preparation, no one was scratched. Yi Fan raised his head and saw a big fireball rising into the sky. Looking at the ground again, the corpse of the mutated cow had been bombarded to pieces. There were a bunch of broken limbs scattered around. Several quasi-mutated zombies that had just been in the process of evolution were all wiped out by this blow, and it also comes with 20 or 30 ordinary zombies. This area of more than 20 meters in radius has been cleared. Although this kind of individual cloud explosion bomb cannot be as devastating as a real cloud explosion bomb, for the current Yi Fan company, this kind of powerful firepower is already very powerful. 2 shells were blasted out, and Su Mo turned into a rocket launcher warrior. "You upgrade so quickly, your cost is not low, sir, mainly because the enemies are densely packed, the effect this time is indeed better," Su Mo replied as he quickly reloaded and fired all 6 shells. Because it was about to be refreshed, no one needed to reserve it. They stopped shooting only after the 12 o'clock time came. Looking downstairs again, the zombies and mutated beasts that were so dense just now have become sparse. On their side, the troops and horses are strong at the moment. Because of the cost, the medic has treated many people one after another, and the upgrade speed is also very fast. Even Xiao Jing, who just appeared, has already reached 1 star. There are now 4 medics, 2 with 1 star and 2 with 2 stars, but the other 3 male medics seem to be silently led by Xiao Jing. Yi Fan felt a little strange. Xiao Jing was not the first to be born, so why did he become the leader of the medical soldiers? It doesn't look like the other medics have a crush on her either. But Yi Fan was very sensible and did not ask. His intuition told him that he would not get a good answer if he asked. Almost all soldiers have been upgraded, except for those newly born army soldiers and conscripts. Yi Fan ordered these people to continue shooting and use up all the bullets in their hands, and they would probably all get stars. all warriors who were starless or about to rise to a star started a new round of shooting. When the downstairs was cleared, the strength of the troops increased again. All of his men are no longer starless, and they are basically full of ammunition. Those army soldiers and mobilization soldiers who followed him from Qingguan town have now even reached 3 stars. Wang Aiyu has even reached the 3-star flamethrower warrior level, which can activate high-power flamethrowing 12 times a day. Chen Jikong and Li Hao have also reached the 2-star level, and can use it 9 times a day. Su Haoren also upgraded during this attack, reaching the highest 3-star status. As far as individual combat ability and comprehensive ability are concerned, the scout is still very useful. A 3-star scout is already a big killer in itself. There were only a few zombies and mutated beasts on the ground. Yi Fan ordered the soldiers to stop shooting. With a wave of his hand, Xiao Tian rushed down with 7 other military dogs. They couldn't hold it any longer and started to use wolf tactics when they went down. Several military dogs surrounded them and could easily tear a quasi-mutated zombie into pieces. Even other mutant beasts are no match for them, not to mention that many mutant beasts are injured now. By the time the military dogs cleaned up the zombies and mutated beasts below, except for the 3-star Xiaotian, the remaining 7 had become 5 with 1 star and 1 with 2 stars. Go downstairs. Collect mutated beast meat and supplies. Under Yi Fan's company commander level drug treatment, the lightly injured were able to walk on their own, while the seriously injured only needed support. A group of people walked out of the building. The soldiers began to collect mutated animal meat. There were virus components in these claws, but the meat was indeed extremely delicious. Yi Fan thought it would be of great use in the future, so he collected all he could. Looking at this powerful team, Yi Fan knew that as long as the zombies did not evolve again, unless the number was extremely large, it would be difficult to threaten his team. Seeing that the team was about to collect the supplies, Yi Fan was ready to continue to number 1 middle school. Sir, I found this in the brain of a mutated cow. Su Haoren came to Yi Fan covered in smoke and dust, holding a shiny thing in his hand. Everyone who wants a supporting role should leave a message in the book review area. I can't remember what was said in other places. Chapter 47. The Foreign Teachers Team in number 1 middle school. Yi Fan looked at the crystal-like substance in Su Haoren's hand and was stunned. That thing was crystal clear, like a carefully polished gemstone, with a faint fluorescence. Taking it from Su Haoren's hand, this thing is not particularly hard, a bit like rubber. There seemed to be a faint aroma on it, which made Yi Fan feel that this thing was edible. What is this? Yi Fan took it and looked it up and down, feeling that this thing might be more precious than mutated animal meat. According to the similar apocalyptic movie books he has read, this thing may be the legendary crystal core. But the movie is a movie, and the reality is reality. After all, this was found from a mutant beast, and Yi Fan still couldn't eat it. But he had a feeling that this was definitely a good thing. Continue searching to see if other mutant beasts or zombies have this thing in their brains. The soldiers immediately took action, bayonets flying, and rifle butts smashing down, smashing open the heads of each one. But it is a pity that this kind of thing is not found in the brains of other mutant beasts. The zombies' brains were even more covered in mush, and they were also not found. Is it true that only larger mutated beasts have a chance of giving birth to this kind of crystal? Yi Fan looked at it, put away the crystal, and put away the mutated beast meat collected by the soldiers. With so many mutated beasts, he collected nearly 3,000 kilograms of mutated beast meat. There should have been more than this, but unfortunately a lot of it was burned and eaten. After collecting the mutated beast meat, Yi Fan saw the head of an armored zombie rolling down in the distance. That was the armor that was blasted by Sumo's rocket launcher. Only the head rolled to the side, and no one noticed. Crack this head open. The head of the armored zombie was not easy to open, so the engineer came over and used an electric saw in his toolbox to cut open the head. There are also no crystals inside, but there is some light blue substance. The armored zombies did not produce crystals, but there were signs of producing crystals. Other mutated zombies were not found, indicating that not all mutated zombies can produce crystals. With so many mutated beasts and zombies and only one crystal, Yi Fan felt that this thing was more and more precious. Put it away no matter what it is used for, and then go back to study it after solving the problems in number 1 middle school. After finishing the matter here, he turned on the radar. Yi Fan saw that within the entire radar range, there were only mutant beasts and zombies in some edge areas. Almost everyone within a 3-kilometer radius was attracted. After all, the zoo is not an urban area, and no matter how many tourists there are, it is impossible to reach the density of an urban area. Go to the left and you can go to the giant beast park, where there are big guys like elephants, rhinos, hippos, giraffes, anacondas, and crocodiles. Going to the right is the Shihu Park, where there is a group of the world's largest cats. According to Yi Fan's judgment, crystals can definitely be found in these two places, but he doesn't want to go there for the time being. Since I was in a hurry to save my sister, it was too dangerous to come to these places. A mutated gorilla is so difficult to deal with. Who knows whether these giant beasts will become like Godzilla after mutating. It's better not to get into trouble first. Anyway, Yi Fan believes that if he can't take down these giant beasts, other survivors will be even less likely to have a chance. It won't be too late to wait until they are stronger. Proceeding along the middle area, passing through the primate area, and gradually reaching the edge of the zoo. There is a radar to detect the path, and the journey is going smoothly. In addition, the team is now strong, and it is not a problem to encounter some zombies and small mutant beasts. It just provides the soldiers with experience to increase their stars. Having arrived at the direction of the zoo near number 1 middle school, the money in Yi Fan's hand even accumulated to 1,000, which were all trophies along the way. We are about to leave the zoo, pass the barbed wire fence and then cross a road. In front of us is a small forest in the east. The engineer cut open the barbed wire, and Yi Fan got out again. The soldiers followed one by one, climbed through an abandoned traffic flow, and finally reached a small forest. Yi Fan is very familiar with this place. After all, he was once a student of number 1 middle school and lived here for 3 years. The teaching level of Lingshui number 1 middle school is very high. In order to ensure the enrollment rate, this school was used as a pilot school. It was the first school in the entire Coal City and even the entire region to introduce foreign teachers. Foreign language teachers, physics teachers, chemistry teachers, physical education teachers, many of them are foreigners. Later, this trend showed signs of unlimited expansion. Half of the school's teachers were occupied by foreigners, and it was stopped by superiors. However, the teachers who have come in have not left. Maybe they are in a foreign land and they are a very powerful force in the school. When Yi Fan was in school, he was punished by Smith, the dean of students. At first it was said that it was for advanced management experience, but Yi Fan knew that the white dean of students, Smith, was definitely an out-and-out Westerner. Even when he came, Yi Fan cursed that Smith had turned into a zombie, and he didn't know if he could succeed. Passing through the grove that was once a dating site for couples from number 1 middle school, he first checked the radar to see if there were any survivors in this place. If there are survivors, he will go in. If there are no survivors, there is really no need to go. Turn on the radar and you can have a panoramic view of the number 1 middle school campus. There are many zombies in teaching buildings, playgrounds, canteens, libraries, and dormitories. There were red light spots everywhere, and there were a few sporadic blue light spots in the dormitory, but Yi Fan knew that it was the boys' dormitory, and there was no blue light spot representing survivors in the girls' dormitory. But there is one place where there are a lot of blue light spots. That's the school's swimming pool. Due to the large population in Qin and Han dynasties, supporting facilities in various public places are quite complete. There are even swimming pools in high schools such as number 1 middle school. In the swimming pool, there are hundreds of blue light spots densely packed. Of course, in a large school like number 1 middle school with more than 20,000 students, a few hundred survivors are really not that many. According to Yi Fan's judgment, this is thanks to the fact that the apocalypse broke out at noon. If students were all concentrated in the teaching building in the morning and afternoon, I am afraid that dozens of people who survived would be lucky. Since there are so many people, there is hope that my sister will survive. Yi Fan checked the situation around the swimming pool and found that there was not a single zombie within a few hundred meters of the swimming pool. It seemed that someone had cleared away all the zombies here. Yi Fan began to advance carefully with his troops. In fact, there is no need to be too careful. With the 50 or 60 people currently under Yi Fan plus 8 dogs, as long as they do not take the initiative to go deep into areas with dense zombies, such as canteens and dormitories, there will basically not be any big problems. The soldiers opened a path with bayonets and detoured to the downstairs of the teaching building. There were not many zombies in the teaching building because it was noon when the incident occurred and there was no one in the teaching building at all. Yi Fan was not in a hurry to go to the swimming pool. It seemed safe there now. He wanted to observe the situation first. The military dogs and soldiers who had not reached 3 stars became the main force. Yi Fan asked not to shoot if there were few zombies. These soldiers took the military dogs and advanced layer by layer, easily eliminating the scattered zombies they encountered. In Yi Fan's view, when the number of soldiers is not too large, it is best to upgrade them to 3 stars, so as to ensure the maximum strength. The only regret is that the student zombies have no output at all. The strict management of number 1 middle school prevents girls from wearing jewelry. Yi Fan went all the way to the 5th floor of this teaching building and didn't get a single hair. However, he did not come here to collect gold and silver. He wanted to take advantage of the geographical advantages here to carefully inspect the swimming pool. At the balcony on the 5th floor, Yifan asked Suharan to hand over the telescope. From here, you can easily see the whole swimming pool. Although they are still nearly 3 kilometers apart, under Suharan's telescope, the situation there is still clearly visible. The first thing Yifan saw was that there were people patrolling on the 2nd floor of the swimming pool. Foreigners with guns. Yifan could probably recognize those firearms as those used by the police. They probably found them from a nearby police station. The patrolling person looked familiar to Yifan. He should be a foreign teacher from the old school. Looking at the window again, Yifan could vaguely see that there were many people in the swimming pool. It was just that there were so many people that Yifan could not see clearly. Moving the telescope inch by inch, Yifan suddenly saw that in a room on the 2nd floor, Smith, the tall dean of students, was talking to someone there. How come this old guy who was cursed by me is still alive? Many friends want to be a part-timer. There is a part-timer building in the book review area. You can go there to leave messages. There are too many messages in other places, so I can't remember them here. Chapter 48. Smith's Attitude. In the swimming pool, Smith was talking to several students. No. You are still a bunch of kids and can't hold weapons yet. Listen to me, you are all underage. Since I am in this position, I am your only guardian. The rescue you imagined is impossible. It has been 10 days. Have you seen any signs of rescue? I hope there will be. Just a few days ago, I talked to the consulate in Bingcheng City. We talked on the radio. I told me about the situation here, and they promised me that they would send the security team of our consulate to participate. Rescue, everyone will be safe by then. Okay, you all go back. I will be responsible for you to the end. This is the promise made by your dean of students. Smith dismissed a group of students and sat on chairs, meditating. This time the crisis came suddenly. The domestic teachers of number 1 middle school were having a meeting and were supposed to be taking some notes. However, the group was destroyed when the end of the world came. As foreign teachers, they don't need to learn these things. On the contrary, many people have escaped. There are nearly 100 foreign teachers, and now there are close to 20 people. Many of them were introduced here by Smith, and naturally he is the leader. Smith was quite calm. He immediately organized people to go to the swimming pool to hide, and immediately took the risk to the nearby police station. The police station is right next to the school. It was off-duty time at noon. A few police officers mutated, but they found a lot of guns. In this way, the surviving students of number 1 middle school, as well as a group of foreign teachers, survived based on the swimming pool. As a student, you naturally have to listen to your teacher. Moreover, these high school students are still just a group of underage children. They have no scheming at all, so they are in a state of being led by Smith and the others. After observing the situation for a few days, Smith confirmed that the current situation had collapsed to the point where nothing could be added. However, he is still supporting him, and the phone call with their consulate is also true. The consulate did promise to send people here to rescue them, but in the next few days the radio was unable to contact them. Smith didn't know whether the rescuers would arrive. And in Smith's heart, he felt that life like this was actually not too bad. If there is no rescue, then he is the supreme leader here. He now has more than a dozen guns and a team of about 20 foreign teachers under him, so his strength is not weak. There are about 300 students here, half of whom are boys and girls. If he stays here forever, he can completely turn this place into his own private kingdom. Slowly clearing away the zombies nearby, the number 1 middle school campus will be his territory. The boys will work, and the girls will also work. However, he will not let go of the young and beautiful girls inside. However, these children and students are not like the few coquettish in society who will take the initiative to stick to foreigners when they see them. No one has come to him yet, which makes him feel that some girls should be given some color in the subsequent food distribution. Take a look and let them know who has the final say here now. There are also some unruly boys who have been quietly dealt with by Smith. In this world full of zombies, it is too easy to deal with a few disobedient children. However, these things are not done very cleanly. Some students have already knew. He is not from this country, and he has no patriotism for this country. He does not need to consider other people's feelings. It is still difficult for those children to make waves in front of him who is armed. What he is most worried about right now is not the zombie problem. In his opinion, zombies have no intelligence and are not very difficult to deal with. What he is worried about is that people from the Qin and Han dynasties will come to rescue these students. He has already killed someone. If someone rescues him, he may not end well. Although this possibility is very small, cautious Smith still made many arrangements. In addition to strengthening the alert, his people also monitor the students at all times. If someone wants to rescue and attack, these students are hostages and his life-saving talisman. Since the safety of hundreds of students cannot be guaranteed, no one will dare to attack here. Smith is sure of this. Touching the gun on his waist, Smith was satisfied. If someone from his country's consulate comes, he is willing to join them. If he doesn't come, it doesn't matter. It's not a bad day. Thinking about it, he started to play with a set of broadcasting equipment here, trying to get through to their country's consulate. Hello. This is Smith, calling the United States consulate in Ice City, ZZ. The noise echoed, but no one answered. Smith cut off the radio, and occasionally there were radio broadcasts from other places. It was some survivors trying to seek rescue, or people who had established a base were recruiting people. But he didn't care about those people, and he was not prepared to surrender to anyone from the Qin and Han dynasties. Su Haoren quietly slid down from the second floor of the gymnasium and slipped back to Yi Fan. Sir, this is what I captured. Yi Fan waved his hand. He had already understood the general situation through Su Haoren's perspective. The children in No. 1 middle school are now under the control of Smith. The situation is currently relatively stable, but Smith is not a good person and he is not friendly to the students. The end of the world has just begun, and the situation has not gotten out of control yet. If this situation continues, it won't be long before this place becomes Smith's private kingdom. And Yi Fan also found the goal of his trip. Through Su Haoren's perspective, he saw his sister Yi Luo among the crowd of girls. 16-year-old Yi Luo still has a little baby fat, has full bangs, big eyes, and fair skin. She still has the potential to be a beauty. The genes of their family are pretty good. Their father had thick eyebrows and big eyes, he was very energetic when he was young, and his mother is also a gentle and beautiful woman from a good family. Sister, no matter how old she is, she will definitely be a beauty, and maybe not bad either. Now among the crowd, Yi Luo lowered his head and shrank into a small ball. He looked very inconspicuous, which made Yi Fan feel a little distressed. He can still remember the scenes of playing with his sister all day long when he was a child. His sister is a very good girl and should not suffer here. So he had to save his sister no matter what. After thinking about it, Yi Fan felt that he should not show up. Smith was a bit out of control. If he recognized him, his sister might be in danger. A forceful attack would not work. This man was very vigilant. Even if he could be killed in a sneak attack, those foreign teachers who were scattered among the crowd and had weapons in their hands would probably pose a greater danger. Yi Fan didn't want to turn this operation into a hostage rescue operation when he had such a powerful armed force. That would be too unappetizing. That Smith is still trying to contact their consulate. What does that mean? Yi Fan thought for a while and already had a vague concept in his mind, but decided to send a few people to test it out. There are some wounded in his team now. Under the 400% special effect of his company commander level medicine, these wounded have recovered a lot, and they have basically no problem moving on their own. He sent 7 men, 3 wounded, and 4 3-star army soldiers. This ensured that in the event of a firefight, his side's firepower could easily suppress the opponent without causing losses. Yi Fan gave these people face-to-face instructions. Under the cover of others, he walked around the edge of the campus, cleaning up zombies along the way, and arrived at the side entrance of the school. The side door was close to the swimming pool. They disguised themselves as a fleeing team and walked in. As soon as he entered the door, he was discovered by the foreign teacher patrolling the swimming pool. The patrolman immediately became alert. Where did these soldiers come from? He looked injured, so he probably wasn't scratched by a zombie. People who were caught by zombies would also turn into zombies. Stop. What do you do? Army soldier Luo Fei immediately said, Ah. There is someone here. Let us go in and take a rest. We are the surviving soldiers in the military area. We originally wanted to rescue the survivors, but we encountered a group of foreign soldiers and were injured. Wait a moment, let me ask. The foreign teacher immediately reported Smith. Smith heard this report and was both happy and worried. Happily, he heard about the foreign soldiers. Could it be that they were sent by his own consulate? What is worrying is that these Qin and Han soldiers are difficult to handle. If they are allowed to come in, the situation may get out of control. They must not be allowed in, except for our soldiers, no one else can. Following Smith's instructions, the foreign teacher came out, squatted on the roof and shouted loudly, "This is now the place where Americans and Americans stay. During special periods, we do not welcome anyone except Americans and Americans to enter. You can find another place." Luo Fei also tried to say something. The foreign teacher even raised a gun and threatened him. He also knew that the Qin and Han soldiers could not be allowed in, so his attitude was extremely resolute. Luo Fei pretended to be angry and said something, as if it was inconvenient to fight because there were wounded people present, so he withdrew from the side door and returned to Yi Fan to report. Yi Fan, who has observed everything, has an idea in his mind. Only people from the United States can enter. Regarding racial issues, I knew this old Sher too would do this. It seems that I have to try that method. Chapter 49. The birth of a fake mercenary. Through observation and testing, Yi Fan finally determined what Smith had in mind. His attempts to contact the Bingchang consulate were also explained. This guy actually asked the consulate of his country for help. Maybe he was still thinking that people from his country could come to rescue him. But Yi Fan came from Bingchang. It can be said that the situation there is much worse than here. The big city has become a ghost, and the number of survivors continues to decrease. There is no possibility of rescue. Now it is easy for Yi Fan to kill Smith and his gang, but he cannot take risks. If Smith jumps over the wall in a hurry, killing hostages indiscriminately will be in trouble. He didn't want his sister to be in danger, so he had to change his strategy. And from the very beginning, Yi Fan already had a general idea in his mind. Nana, I remember when I first produced soldiers, you asked me about race. Can I set the race of soldiers? That's right, sir, the default race of your soldiers at that time was natives of the Qin and Han dynasties. Do you need to modify it? If I produce soldiers of other races, what's the difference between them and locals? There is not much difference except appearance. No matter which country's race they are all your red alert soldiers. However, you can only change the race of the soldiers, and change their clothing and weapon shapes. The actual combat effectiveness is the same. Identical. Nana paused and gave a detailed introduction. For example, if you want to change the conscripts to be from other countries, then the shape of their Type 56 submachine gun will become AK-47, because the models of the two guns are basically the same. If you want to change the army soldiers to be from the United States and the United States national soldiers, then their rifle appearance will become M16, but in essence it will still be the Biobar, and there will be no difference in performance. Then if I change the race once, can I change it back again later? Yes, this is the right of your Supreme Commander. Yi Fan nodded and understood. However, he has no money to produce now. 1,000 gold is still a little less. If he only produces a few soldiers, he may not be able to control the situation at once. Yi Fan remembered what Lan Lily said about her friend's house. Her friend's home is in the nearby Zijin Garden community, and Yi Fan still remembers the address. Looking from here, Zijin Garden community is just across the street. With such a distance, the large army was conspicuous when passing by. Yi Fan ordered Su Haoren to go there with 2 3-star army soldiers and 2 military dogs. Su Haoren accepted the order and immediately led the people to Zijin Garden community. Yi Fan waited patiently here, observing the situation in the swimming pool while waiting. The soldiers below eat together, but now the food level has improved a lot. With the establishment of the cooking class, everyone is equipped with a lunchbox, which contains rice and 2 vegetables. Now Yi Fan doesn't have much supplies here, and he can't eat or drink too much. When this incident is over, when he returns to Qingguan Town, he must sweep away the zombies in Qingguan Town, collect supplies, and prepare to build a base. I wonder how much jewelry Lan Lily can have this time, and whether it is enough for him to build a chariot factory. The tank factory is a building that Yi Fan has coveted for a long time. When the tank factory in the game first appeared, there were only mining trucks, grizzly tanks, and a terrifying robot like a big spider. Now that the system has been improved, it should be different from before. First of all, there is no mine, and mining vehicles cannot be built. Yi Fan doesn't like the terrifying robot even more, because the main function of that thing is to sneak attack enemy tanks, and this is also something Yi Fan thinks is unreasonable. Even before advanced tanks are built, robots can be sent to the battlefield. The order of technology is somewhat reversed. The improvement of the system is obviously more rational, and Yi Fan has no idea what will appear in the tank factory. While he was thinking wildly, Su Haoren came back. Sir, the mission is completed. Here are all the supplies found in the house of the resident you mentioned. As he said that, he handed Yi Fan a black bag. It felt neither too heavy nor too light, weighing more than 10 kilograms. Yi Fan immediately opened the bag and took a look inside. Yi Fan initially thought that the other party would move the entire gold store here, but now it seems that he is still naive. The bag is filled with larger gold jewelry, such as gold bracelets, gold necklaces, etc. Far from reaching the level of a jewelry store, but definitely not too small. The feeling of carrying it may be similar to that of a zookeeper. Gathering all the gold together, Nana immediately sent a prompt. Sir, if you find a rare metal, do you want to convert it into system money? Transform immediately, transform them all. Congratulations, sir, you got 9,000 money. Yi Fan was stunned for a moment. He saw that the amount of money in his current system reached exactly 10,000. If it weren't for the current situation, Yi Fan would definitely build a tank factory without hesitation. It's a bit shameful to have only soldiers without tanks. Now, except for Yi Fan's Xiaolong off-road vehicle, the other vehicles are for civilian use and cannot be put to great use. But the current situation cannot be controlled by Yi Fan. The current situation must be resolved first. No matter how reluctant you are to part with it, the tank factory can only be built slowly. He looked at the video shot by Su Haoren again. In this video, he saw almost 20 foreign teachers scattered throughout the crowd, most of whom were armed. In this way, if you want to control the situation, you need at least 20 soldiers. Yi Fan decided to produce 25 soldiers. 21 conscripts, 3 United States soldiers, and 1 scout. Such an organization is a platoon. The conscripts are ordinary soldiers, the American soldiers are squad leaders, and the scouts can serve as platoon leaders. Sir, are you sure to produce 25 soldiers? Confirm, remember they are white soldiers from the United States. Understood. I would like to remind you, sir, that the establishment of units producing soldiers of other races cannot be included in the company you are currently in, because soldiers of different races cannot serve in the same unit. Yi Fan had not thought of this before, but Nana's reminder was not unreasonable. Black, white, and yellow people cannot all be in the same team. This is not the United World Army. But these more than 20 people have to produce, and the current action must be carried out by them. Then let's produce it too. Confirmed production, 25 white American soldiers, costing a total of 3,200 gold. Yi Fan's money amount became 6,800, and production began. About half an hour later, a group of white American soldiers walked out of the classroom behind him. The scout in front was the first to salute, Scout John, reporting to Sir. The soldiers and mobilization soldiers behind him also saluted Yi Fan. They were no different from other Red Police soldiers, and they also spoke fluent Chinese. Only the military uniforms they wore were different. They wore military uniforms from the United States, and the guns they carried were not domestically produced guns. There are only some differences in appearance, but they are actually the same inside. Yi Fan said to John, "You all speak Chinese?" "Yes, sir, because you are from the Qin and Han dynasties, and you have set us as white people, we are proficient in both Chinese and English." "Very good, then you can communicate with those foreign teachers smoothly." "Yes, there is absolutely no barrier to communication." After John finished speaking, he asked again, "Sir, we soldiers cannot be included in your regular army establishment. Please give us a clear identity." Yi Fan thought for a while. "Your identities are the guards who escaped from the United States consulate in Bingcheng. It is probably destroyed now. You are mercenaries to the outside world. Without my order, you are not allowed to reveal your identity to others, because there may be someone in the future. Some secret tasks that are inconvenient for me to do are entrusted to you. Sir, don't worry, your will is the meaning of our existence." John was temporarily appointed as the platoon leader, 3 other soldiers were appointed as squad leaders, and the remaining mobilization soldiers were all ordinary soldiers. A temporary combat platoon has been set up, but it has not yet reached the configuration of a platoon required by Yi Fan. There are no snipers, dog medics, or anything like that. Yi Fan doesn't have much money now. When he has money in the future, he will definitely arm this platoon in place. At the end of the world, many things cannot be done in a rigid manner, but Yi Fan does not want the image of his army to be tarnished. If there is anything less than above board, you can let this fake mercenary do it. If there is any blame in the future, it will be people from the United States and the United States who will bear the blame. Looking at the group of white soldiers who had already detoured and headed towards the side door, Yi Fan thought so. Chapter 50, Letting the Dogs Out. Smith is very uneasy now. After he ordered to deny the Qin and Han soldiers entry into the swimming pool, he was worried that these people would come back. There were a few wounded people there just now, which was not convenient for fighting. Otherwise, he would have no doubt that those Qin and Han soldiers, who looked very tough at first glance, would definitely have come in with guns. Because this is still the land of the Qin and Han dynasties after all, and it is morally untenable for them to occupy this place. At one point Smith even thought about escaping. But running away is not possible. Where else can he run in this world? He has 300 students here, and these students are also useful to him. Every day he organizes students to go out to collect supplies, hunt zombies, and maintain the normal survival of this base. Without these students as cannon fodder, all of their dozen or 20 foreign teachers would probably die soon. Unable to leave, His only hope could only be placed in the pursuit of those Qin and Han soldiers. If it is really someone sent by the consulate, he can still be saved here. Just when he was running around the room like an ant on a hot pot, a foreign teacher ran in excitedly. Mr. Smith, there are many people outside. Who is it? Are the soldiers from Qin and Han coming back? No. This time it is our compatriots, our soldiers of the United States and the United States. What? Where did they come from? I heard they were sent by the consulate, but I haven't seen anyone from the consulate. Quick, go and have a look. Smith couldn't hold it any longer and immediately trotted out of the room, his heart beating nervously. When he came to the second-floor window and looked down, Smith almost shed tears. There were more than 20 United States soldiers standing below, each of them loaded with guns and ammunition. Their familiar military uniforms and appearance made him convinced that these were definitely soldiers from their country. The leading soldier in front has the rank of platoon leader, and the soldiers in the back are almost enough to form a platoon. His voice was hoarse with excitement, and he shouted in his native language, "Where are you from? Hey! Are you Mr. Smith? I heard old George talking about you. My name is John, and I belong to the Bingcheng consulate. You can also call me Sir John. I think we may still be from the same hometown. I am from the coast of Jiazhou. You woolen cloth? I am from Shanfo. Oh haha, the fried steak there is very authentic, and the girls are also very enthusiastic. The Mr. Russell next to me is also from Shanfo. Maybe you can catch up on old times later." An authentic native accent made all the doubts Smith had cast aside. At first, he was worried about how the other party got here from Ice City, but now it doesn't seem to be important. It is impossible for the Qin and Han dynasties to send people to impersonate, and even if they impersonate, it is impossible to pretend to be so similar. He is already in front of him, right? As long as these troops are there, his personal safety can definitely be guaranteed, and he no longer has to worry about those Qin and Han soldiers coming back. Mr. Smith, aren't you going to open the door and let us have a rest? We were chasing a few Qin and Han soldiers just now. You must know that running in this world is not an easy task. Oh, I'll open the door for you right away. Smith ran down from the second floor with a bump, smiling at the students who were looking at him as he ran. The weather looks really good today, it should be a pleasant day. I am so sure that our better days are coming, oh Lyle. You should put on your tie and welcome our bravest warriors. Xiao Yalua, you are such a lovely girl. I guarantee that you will have a wonderful new life in the future. The students felt very uneasy when they looked at Smith, who was as excited as an old dog in heat. A lot of things happened during this period. Smith killed several classmates who opposed him, and just drove away a few Qin and Han soldiers. Now a group of American and United States soldiers have arrived, making the students feel that there is no hope in life. Can they go back to the past? It seems that there is no such possibility. Maybe one day they will be eaten by zombies on the way to collect supplies, or they will be quietly beaten to death by Smith and others and thrown outside without even leaving their bodies. Smith personally unlocked the door of the swimming pool and opened the two doors completely. He showed the courtesy of a gentleman and welcomed the soldiers who came in. Scout John walked ahead immediately and strode in. As he walked, he said, "Hey, look, there are many of our compatriots here. Mr. Smith, I think you should ask your compatriots to gather together and meet us. It's okay, but they still have to guard these students, that's all in the past. Do you think these children can do anything with us here?" Smith nodded hurriedly. Sir John is right. Now everyone gathers here to meet our heroes. What a blessing it is to be able to see them in this world. Those foreign teachers came out from all corners, holding their own weapons, with extremely sincere and happy smiles on their faces, and walked towards the protector in their hearts. John looked around and said to Smith, "Except for soldiers, no one else is qualified to hold weapons here. Hand in all your weapons." Ah. But, Smith hesitated. "There's nothing good to do. If you still want to be protected by us, then do as I say." Although Smith felt something was wrong, he still followed John's words and handed over all their firearms. "Okay gentlemen, I think things here should be settled. Now please follow us and leave here. I will take you to an absolutely safe place." Smith's eyes suddenly lit up. "Do we have a base here?" "Haha. It will be available soon, please follow me." The soldiers began to signal the foreign teachers to file out. Smith also looked back at the hundreds of students. What about them? Is Mr. Smith such a kind person? Is he still in the mood to care about their life and death? Smith smiled awkwardly. "Of course not, I just asked casually." Seeing that his escape was imminent, Smith didn't care that there were still a few beauties he liked here, and followed John and the others out without hesitation. The group passed through the side door, walked around in a circle, and finally arrived at the teaching building. When I turned a corner, something heartbreaking happened. A large group of soldiers stood darkly in front, with various firearms, flamethrowers, and even rocket launchers aimed at their group. There are also military dogs as big as tigers, squatting there and staring at them, making people afraid to act rashly. Smith exclaimed, "There are enemies. Get ready to fight." As he spoke, he hid behind John, hoping that John could resist. Unexpectedly, John walked directly in front of the officer leading the team, stood at attention and saluted, "Sir, the mission is accomplished." Smith was dumbfounded. John actually called a Qin and Han man chief. And why does this young Qin and Han officer look familiar? Old sure too, you're fine. Yi Fan took off his hat and looked at the foreign teacher in front of him. Yi Fan. Smith immediately felt bad and turned to look at John. "John, you turned out to be treason." John nodded directly. "Well, it's been almost an hour since we rebelled." You traitor, I will definitely report you to the consulate." Yi Fan snorted coldly. "It depends on whether you have the opportunity." Smith trembled all over. "Yi Fan, after all, I am your teacher. According to your country, there is a master-disciple relationship. You won't hurt me, right?" Yi Fan's eyes were cold. "Then when you were running wild in our land and hurting our Qin and Han students, did you ever think of the relationship between master and disciple?" Seeing that his intercession was of no use, Smith braced himself and howled, "I am a citizen of the United States. You have no right to judge my crime. Whoever dares to harm me will not be spared by my motherland." Yi Fan slowly turned around. "Since you said so, our people will not hurt you." Smith's eyes suddenly showed surprise. It seemed that the United States signboard still worked. But Yi Fan knocked him into the ice cave the next moment. "Whoever hurts you, your motherland will not let him go, right? Then let your motherland come to find these dogs, Xiao Tian. Why are you rubbing around that bitch? Let's eat." "Thank you, idealist, for the $10,000 reward, thank you, I will die without novels, for the 6,600 coin reward, thank you for the $5,000 reward from Brother De Chow, Blood Moon Snow Traces, and Crawling Turtle, and many other book friends for the reward, you all the rewards are the motivation to move forward."